Hi Stampin' friends, it's Sandy here, and I have a card share for you today with the Blossoming Baskets from Celebration. Cute little bundle. Celebration ends on March the 31st, and so you just have a few days left to place a qualifying order to earn this. The qualifying order is $120, and you would earn the stamp set and the awesome basket weave embossing folder. So here's all the pieces that you need to make the card, and I have provided a PDF file over on my blog. There's a link under the video for all the cutting instructions. And so we're just going to jump right in and we're going to start our stamping, and I'm using the archival black ink to start stamping my images, and I am stamping on the art piece, and so I'm just getting a portion of the basket on that one, and then again the inside panel of the card base I'm doing the other half of the basket. And on the right hand side, the sentiment and a couple of butterflies, and I kind of added butterflies in a few different spots. On a scrap piece of paper, you want to stamp the large flower in the center of the basket, 2 additional butterflies, and the little tag. And while we're waiting for those to dry, we are going to emboss the front left panel for our card base inside that basket weave. And then I use tear and tape on the back of these because you can gently put it on without squishing your embossing, and it's really strong, so it will attach to another piece of cardstock very easily. And I'm adding this in Pool Party, and that's going to be the front left panel for my card base. And so next we're going to get out the Stampin' Trimmer because we're going to score at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2, and that creates our Z fold. So fold it closed, and then fold the top panel back on itself, and that creates the Z. All right, let's get into putting some of these pieces away so we don't lose them. This is the right panel for my card base with my sentiment, and you'll see when I put my art piece on top of it, it covers all of that, so it's kind of cool how it opens and exposes it. So here's all the panels for the base, and we'll just get those out of the way. There we go. Onto our coloring. I'm using Stampin' Up's watercolor pencils, and I'm going to do 2 layers of gray for my basket, so filling in and then coming back with a second layer just in the spots that I want shadows. So just quickly doing the handle, and you know, I'm just kind of giving the image of the basket. It doesn't need to be completely filled in. It can be kind of abstract, but again what I'm doing is putting a whole layer of color down other than a white spot in the center to add some depth, showing that maybe that's where the light is showing on it, and then come back and put a second layer in just for where the color is, or the shadows are. There you go. An easy way to add depth. So I'm using Daffodil Delight for the 2 small flowers on either side, and I'm going to put a whole layer of the Daffodil Delight down, and then I'm going to blend it with my blender pen, and what that does is that gets rid of all the little pencil marks and gives my flower a nice smooth finish. And then once I finish that, I'm going back in and I'm adding some more color and laying it down and adding a little bit of the pumpkin pie in as well. And I'm using that as kind of my shadow color. So down near the base of all the flower petals where they're kind of tucked into each other, and then coming back again with a blender pen and blending that in. And you don't want to get too much orange in there. You want to try and keep those flowers, you know, pretty yellow. Okay. So pull that color around. You can also pull color off if you've decided that you've got too many, or too much color. You can pick it up with your blender pen and remove it. I'm going to use Pool Party for the big center flower, and you only need to do the outside petals. My brain escaped me at this point, and now you get to watch me color the entire thing. I get to the end and I finally remember that I only need the outside edge because I'm putting a second layer on top. We're going to do a little paper tolling on top of this one just for an easy added interest. The first card I made when I did this, I cut out the whole basket, and that was rather time consuming and painful. So I'm not going to do that again. So come in with your Pacific Point to add some shadowing, and again I'm just doing the outside edge, and you can see that I'm cleaning my blender pen just by rubbing it on the scrap of Whisper White. That's the easy way to get the color off. Now I'm coming back in with Lemon Lime Twist for my leaves, and that is not a color that comes in the basic watercolor kit. It was an addition in the Lots of Happy card kit. So if you have the Lots of Happy card kit, you have that pretty coloring pencil along with Flirty Flamingo. So it's worth getting that kit just for those two colors. All right, so going back in and filling in all the little spots I missed because I couldn't figure out what they were and what color they were. Topping that up a little bit. Over to my little scrap paper where I'm going to do my additional pieces. This flower, the whole base is done again in Pool Party, and I'm blending it all out to get rid of all those little lines. And then I'm going to come back in again with Pacific Point and add all my shadowing. And sorry, my camera fuzzes out a little bit because there's not enough color going on here. It doesn't like black and white. So it'll settle down in just a sec as more color is showing. So I'm blending that in, and then I'm going to come back in and add a little bit of Daffodil Delight, just where I think maybe the sun might be hitting the flower petals. So you'll see I add just a little bit, and it just really brightens the flower up. And the center, of course. And again, blending that in. Over to the butterflies, I did them in Lemon Lime Twist and Pool Party. And don't worry about staying inside the lines because you're going to cut these little guys out. A little bit of fussy cutting while you watch tonight's movie. And for the tag, I did the little hearts in Melon Mambo, and then the background of the tag is also done in Pool Party. And I did blend out that first layer because you could see all my pencil lines. And then I did the butterfly and just blended that in a little bit. And of course you got to color the other butterfly too, but I didn't need you to sit through that. And I went back with my Pool Party and added a bit of shadowing. So cut those little guys out, and then we can use snail adhesive to attach the art piece to the two mats. Isn't it pretty? I love those colors together. Nice and springy. It's snowing here. Flip it over, and you want some heavy duty adhesive on the back of the left side only of this piece. Close your card, center it so that the adhesive is sticking only to the left panel. And the reason you needed strong adhesive is because that left panel is embossed, so it's not lying smooth. And see how the art piece covers the sentiment? Isn't that cute? You can cut your small mini dimensionals in half, and they fit perfectly on the back of the tag and the butterflies. And the mini dimensionals also work for the pretty little flower. Isn't that nice with that second layer? Just a little bit of interest without a whole bunch of work. My kind of card. And so add your butterflies, and that kind of pulls the design element together. And then I decided at the last minute that maybe it needed a bow, so a little bit of linen thread. And if you give it a real good tug, you will get rid of those little kinks from it being wrapped around that cardboard piece there. And I did a double. I folded it in half, so I've got 2 loops on either side, and I'm just tightening it to get the loops the size that I want. Trim the ends off. Use a little dab of multi-purpose glue just on the bottom of that petal on the flower there, and add the bow. There we go. Final embellishment was a couple of, well, 3 actually, subtle enamel shapes. I used the yellows and the Pool Party. And 2 over there and 1 down on the right hand side. I didn't want too much more than that because there's a lot going on. And I store mine inside those small stamp cases. So there you go. There's the card. And if you would like a chance to win this bundle, the Blossoming Basket Sale, just leave a comment on this video or on my blog post. And on April the 1st, I'm going to choose a winner, and I will announce it on my blog. Somebody's going to win a brand new bundle. Thanks for visiting.